All right, everyone. Today we are here for our 1 o'clock creative live discussion, and we have Kat Bloom with Vault Studios in here today.
Hello, hello.
And we are going to go ahead and give it a little bit of time. Well, we're at the top of the hour now. We can go ahead and start, and I'm starting with my first question. So Kat can be able to tell us a little bit about what is what was the a little bit about your creative journey. What started your creative journey, and what inspired you to be able to start your business, and what made you see um, a need that needed to be filled?
I come from I'm from Albuquerque. My mom is from here. My grandpa moved here in the 50s. So we have a long his family history. My family's full of entrepreneurs. So I naturally kind of like took that course. My mom and dad own Red Horse Bed and Breakfast in the South Valley, and my aunt and uncle own DRB Electric and Rio Bravo Brewing Company. So, and my grandpa's a CPA. So we're all pretty driven individuals. But I grew up in music. My mom is a double music major. My dad was a big supporter of buying all of our instruments that we wanted to learn. And it got to a point growing up in Albuquerque. I moved back here from Europe when I was 18. And we spent about a decade in Europe with because my dad's with the military. But it got to a point where I was looking for a creative hub that I could go to that was also affordable. And I looked for over a decade and I could not find it. And it got to a point where when I turned 32 and I got married a couple years ago, um, I was like, I don't think this place is ever going to exist here. And my grandma was a big believer of if you build it, they will come. And if it's not there, do it. So that's kind of how we got into this. We started as a recording studio and we got segued with my partner, Lisa Anaya. She kind of into a multitude of creative assets so that and we're the only studio in the state that I know of that allows people to pay with like Klarna and Afterpay and just breaking down that financial barrier that is continuously there for creatives. So that's kind of what got me here.
Thank you, thank you. And now, how has New Mexico creative landscape influenced your work and approach to a collaboration?
Considering I started Vault Studios as it was going to be just this little hole in the wall recording studio, I think that the collaborative nature of New Mexico is what launched it into what it is now. So we have Bloom Records, which is an artist-led label upstairs that I'm in. We're a Dolby Atmos Institute. And then we also have a 501(c)(3) nonprofit called the Media Lab that anybody in the community is open to come and check out and utilize the assets there for free. Everything that we do in the building, technically, we also teach through the 501(c)(3). So I think that without the nature of the collaborative spirit from other businesses, other creatives, and mindsets like that, I don't think we would have launched into what we are now. There's a severe need for connection to the different parts of the industries. And I think that we can help fill that with the community as well.
I like to hear that. So it's like using collaboration to be able to see how you can expand and fill some of the needs and those gaps that you see
Hmm.
in that creative environment.
Yep.
Now, what's the collaborations you've been a part of that had a lasting impact on your business and that you've been proud of?
We we've done a lot. We've only been open for 6 months. We technically registered the business last January. In that time, we helped New Mexico Women in Film. I actually created their new website and portal for their members that connects all of their members in one place. And then we filmed a Make-A-Wish video from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We held a networking event for the Sister Cities Foundation. These are all non very philanthropic stuff. But my grandparents helped build the Helmstead chapter for Sister Cities. And so it's really cool to have that like generational connection to. So and then we worked right out the gate out of our after our grand opening, we worked on a local independent feature film. It's going to come out this year. It's called For Scythian Dwellers Club. It's by a local independent filmmaker named Mary Lumley.
Okay.
So y'all should check that out later this year. And we're really proud of that because it's all independent New Mexico creatives. And then aside from that, we got to help volunteer at the Dark Red Horror Festival this last year. We recorded a local teen band at X Studios or from X Studios Battle of the Band in Explora, and we really value our partnership with Explora. So we're all over the community map.
A lot in a little bit of time,
hmm
honestly, right? Because
hmm
you said you started six months ago on paper, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and the amount of work that you've been doing, uh,
hmm
it sounds phenomenal, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. Just being a part of so many other community
hmm
networks and being able to bring those things back here
Yep.
as well, and bridging
hmm
that space for those independent creators and
Yeah.
specifically independent New Mexican creators.
Exactly. There's not enough resources that are easily accessible. There's usually, a lot of hoops that you have to jump through, and we're trying to streamline some of that access, which means a lot of building and development work on the front end. But I think that we've gotten to a really good place, and my family has always been supportive of the community and nonprofit chapters and things like that. So I think that I was just raised that way. And I always try to follow through in those aspects, like wherever I can. If I can, then I will. So, and I think it's really that simple.
I agree. And I think also, I mean, what's a business without community, right? I
hmm
mean,
hmm
as many times as you can have customers and
Yeah.
conduits, it requires you to be able to have people who are on, looking at the people who do probably consume some of your products or
Yeah.
utilize some of your service to be like family,
hmm
right? Because
Yeah.
it's for the community as well.
Yeah, and I think that my husband works at UNM Hospital, and he's like my biggest support system through this last year because it's been really hard. But we both are the customers and the clients that we are targeting, you know what I mean? And so I went to so many studios and got quotes to try and make an album and make music, and I couldn't afford any of it. Even at the like, oh, well, it's about 800 a song. I was like, cool. I can't break that down financially for a one lump fee. And I understand the business side of it. My family's very entrepreneurial, so I was like, well, we have to figure out how to do things differently because the larger economic system, I can't make any great changes there, but I can make smaller changes for the better here. And I just have to find a way to do things differently. And the way that you do that is community based and not so customer, oh, this person is just a paycheck. No, this is a person with passions and creative design, and they want to be part of the process. And that is all really important to be included in all of this. So,
100%. Making it actually accessible.
yeah.
And now, what advice would you give to creatives who want to collaborate but don't know where to start?
Just from my background, the number one piece of advice that I would say first is make yourself a business, whether that's a sole proprietor or an LLC. I've helped so many, probably like 67 businesses get started in New Mexico. And because a lot of it is tax and rev paperwork or registration on the Maggie to Louise Oliver website, and a lot of people don't know how to do that. And I think it's not as scary as it sounds. um, I filed my first business in 2015 as a sole
Mhm.
proprietor, and I was just doing websites and stuff like that. But they're like, make yourself a business first, and then find people, go to every single event that people are holding for that. And it's 7 o'clock. I want to go home and relax, but if there's an event that is supporting the community of creatives that I can go to, hit every single one, and then know what you're offering. It takes time, but know what you're offering and support your or surround yourself with people who know how to receive that and know how to give those kind of services and make sure they're community based. Because that's where we are, and that's what we do where we are.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, coming from the economic development department, I gotta say,
Hmm.
start the business.
Start the business.
Especially for us in the creative industries division to be able to help and support on the
Yeah.
one piece that you did say is the greater economic um situation. We actually
Hmm.
be able to try to support that, but we do require that business and the tax and
Hmm.
revenue, because that is a good way of measurement. Sadly, it's old ways, but it's still a way
Hmm. Yep.
to justify any more opportunities for us. So and I just wanted to throw that in there while you was already saying it, because I think that
Yeah.
is a good bit of advice.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think businesses in New Mexico can work together to grow, not just individually, but collectively as well?
I think that I went from, working with my mom at the bed and breakfast for like 9 years. I was just on the farm because it's a
Mhm.
5-acre cottonwood farm. And I was just on the farm with her, and we had events and stuff come to us. So it was almost like culture shock going back into being in the public society every day and running my business as a brick and mortar in city in downtown. And so it was kind of a culture shock coming back into it. And I think that the biggest thing that I've learned this last year is you have to build a community and find like-minded individuals that share that belief and that sentiment. And you have to remember, like, Albuquerque isn't, we're not competing with each other. The only way that we grow, my business partner and I preached this on a soapbox if we could, but the only way that we grow is collectively. So I've referred tons of clients out if we didn't have capacity. I'm not going to try and hold them and say, hey, wait till we can get to you. I'll say, you know what, there's another phenomenal business that does this. I highly suggest you work with them, refer each other, support each other, work in some fields that you don't think that you might fit in, but if there's a need, you can support it. You know, uh there's some things that you never know where the path is going to go. And so I think that just supporting each other and continuously carrying that, like we are trying to elevate as a city, as a state, to compete with other states or to help support other states too, but bringing the work back here, making sure that our community is supported here. It's about us doing it together. And I think that's the only way that we can grow collectively.
Agree with that. I agree with that. Only through collective working together collectively,
Hmm.
and we cast that net that actually keeps
Hmm.
a lot of good talent and
Hmm.
creatives here,
Yep.
um, and want to be in Albuquerque or New Mexico. So I
Hmm.
definitely agree with that. Now,
Yeah.
what role do you see technology like social media or virtual events playing in fostering collaboration for businesses throughout New Mexico?
This is actually something that we spend a lot of like side quests thinking about
Mhm.
because just of the nature of our businesses and the through the media lab especially. I think that when I look back at the last even 10 years on what Zoom or where we've come since like Skype or MSN Messenger and things like that, and it is a relatively short amount of time, and how we're able to like even do what we're doing now and connect people. It's like it went through this big phase of interest, and then it's like normalized. And I think
Mhm.
that I see a lot of that happening with different AI things that are coming up. And, Google and these different places, they're strategically releasing it in phases because it would be too much to release it to the public all at one time. But I think that all it's going to do is make a greater opportunity for those who sees it.
Mhm.
And I think educating people collectively is important. That's one of the reasons we're having that event next Saturday, is because there's so many tools that small businesses could use to streamline their business practices, and they just don't know about it. And I think that overall, I don't think that AI should replace human interaction. Emails, conversations, they can assist and support in a certain way, but I definitely think that efficacy if utilized properly as a tool, I think it'll go into a fad and then it will be a normalized. People will use what they want and they won't use what they don't want to use. But I think that just finding greater ways of connection or enhancing that connection while keeping the humanity side of it is really important. So,
I agree with that. I agree with that. And I think that is something I like the way that you presented that, where it's knowing that it's kind of being introduced to us in waves. While
mhm,
some things was kind of had to be done, even though if they were
yeah,
there in already, if they wasn't in use, and now it's
yeah,
normalized. So it
mhm,
is a way of knowing that it's a tool like Zoom.
mhm,
It's not going
mhm,
to replace it's not to replace anyone. It's to
mhm,
be used by people.
mhm, mhm.
Now, and now we're kind of wrapping up, so we got about two more questions coming from
Okay.
me. All right, so what's one thing you want fellow creatives to walk away from after today's conversation?
I think that the biggest thing that I've like learned is embracing the fact that I don't have to do it all by myself.
Mm,
I think that's something that a lot of creatives carry, and it's a weight that they don't have to carry anymore. And it's okay to ask for help. That's something that even like I've gotten into the position so many times, even this last year, where I didn't know how. I'm like, I have all this in my brain. How do I get support for one thing? And really, my aunt and my mom were like, make a list and start with the first thing. Like, and sometimes I think that creatives have a tendency to overthink it maybe a
mm.
little bit too much because we get so into the creative process, and there's more resources out there than you know. When I first started looking at how I was going to introduce Vault to the public, I mean, I went in and I read the economic development agreement for film and for audio and for creatives and different things that were available, and finding those resources. And then just, it's crazy what's in your neighborhood. Take a
Mhm.
look around and see where you can go and what you can do. And I think that a lot of people too are really just nervous to start that conversation. Oh, well, they're going to require this, they're going to require that. I need to have all the answers. Really just, I am a huge advocate of like, I don't know what that means. Could you tell me? I have interns that like I didn't know how to reformat a camera or card because I'm audio production and business.
Mhm.
My business partner is the one that does that, and she wasn't there that day. So I was asked an intern. I was like, "Hey, can you show me how to reformat this?" And I just think it's so important to not be afraid to ask those things and just inquire. And that, I think that would be really important.
I like that. I mean, I think it's a good thing. I almost told you to be quiet earlier. I thought you was talking to me. That's how um
Yeah.
because it is true. We take on a lot and thinking that we have to
Mhm.
do so much, especially in being
Yeah.
business owners. At times we do so we wear so many hats in the beginning
Hmm.
that it's hard to relinquish them at times,
Hmm.
and not think about other people who could really be more skillful in certain things, right? And
Yep.
that's their niche, and understanding your own niche and knowing
Hmm.
you do the other things too, right?
Yeah.
Learning the format, but
Yep.
not that's not what you have to do all the time, right?
No, no,
You're
no,
not.
no. Surround yourself with really strong people, and then you don't have to do everything. It's the same reason I won't try and learn how to fix my car, because then I'm going to go on a whole new adventure of being a mechanic, and it takes you away from the focus of what you want to do.
I agree. I agree. And now, are there any upcoming projects, opportunities, or events that you like to share with us that you want local creatives and others to come and support?
Yeah, we have kind of a lot going on with creative industries. We're doing this event on the 29th,
Nice.
and it's a great opportunity for small businesses, for influencers, micro influencers. And I say influence because everybody has some kind of social impact,
Mhm.
right? Whether it's on a small scale or a large scale, we all influence each other in different ways. My business has been built and become this thing that has been influenced by so many people that I've met throughout this last year. So the influencer event is it's going to be from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we have a couple local performers and some AI experiences that are going to be really cool. And then we're going to be holding another event. It's going to be a Bridgerton themed event. So kind of like complete contrast. We're going really future, early, like back in time, kind of thing in June. So I'm really excited about that one as well. And that'll be at the Red Horse Bed and Breakfast in the South Valley. Um, and aside from that, we're open pretty much any we on our website, vaultstudiosabq.com. You can schedule a free consultation and just come in and talk to us about your project, and we'll find a way to make it happen. Because I come from the, oh well, I couldn't I couldn't record an album, so I opened a business. You know what I mean? And so it's like you don't have to do that. Let us help you do it because I understand where you're coming from. And there's so much the paperwork and business side of it. Like my business partner, she's like, she sees numbers and she goes blind.
Mhm.
She's not the business side of it. She's so creative, but I'm thankful to have the support to do both. Aside from those couple of things, I mean, we're always kind of out in the community, just trying to help support people. So just give us a call.
All right, and now I'm gonna look at the chat and see if we have any questions from
Hmm.
some of our participants.
Sure.
Don't have any questions. I'm gonna open it up to if anybody do have any questions, we can open it up right now.
I have a question, Kat. Sorry, I'm having issues with my computer. My name is Keegan Mackenzie Chavez. I work with Arlen with New Mexico Economic Development Department. I'm a
Okay.
regional rep, and
Hmm.
so I'm based in Gallup, but I handle 4 counties: McKinley, Sandoval, San Juan, and Cibola.
Oh,
And I'm just like listening how inspiring you are, and
oh, thank you.
how articulate, and it made me think of I'm on your website, and
Hmm.
I was wondering if the influencer event would be good for this particular person I've been trying to work with, but it's so hard. He's an animator, and
Okay.
he's really struggling with
Hmm.
finding funding because when I go and I've reached out to the New Mexico Film Department, even in as an economic development person, there doesn't seem to be anything for animators.
There is
So
now.
it's just been really kind of difficult for him to kind of find a niche. He has a great pilot, but
Yeah.
funding. And I just thought maybe you're a good person to talk with him and not get discouraged. I think he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, but would you be open for me to like kind of give him your contact
Oh,
information?
totally. Is he in Albuquerque or would it be a virtual?
He's in Farmington, but I'm
Oh,
just
that's
thinking, I'm
fine.
wondering, as an animator, I can kind of send him the information about your 29th event. Would that be a good
Yeah.
contact spot for him?
Yeah, and if he can't make that, we do, FaceTime calls or Zoom all the time.
Okay.
I think that's one of the really cool things. My husband is an animator as well. He
Oh,
does
great.
hard modeling assets in Blender and textures in Blender.
Mm.
And we noticed before we opened that there's not a lot of resources like that. And the New Mexico Film Office and ABQ Film Office, they're awesome. I think that there's not many places to pull from for those kind of
Mhm.
resources. So we're happy to kind of fill those slots and fill that gap. We actually have a project coming up too that we're bringing a lot of local talent into. We're starting on a film next week, another film next week, and then we're going to be going to the Las Cruces International Film Festival as well to help support a film that we worked on down there. But I think that we have a lot of things that he has a short film, I'm assuming that he's
He,
made.
he he does. So I think his
Okay.
background is graphic design. He's
Okay.
working up at the San Juan College Incubator. I don't know if you know much about that, but it's an awesome
Mm.
site that
Yeah.
Mhm.
is just a really diverse kind of makerspace and
Hmm.
incubator. But he's
Hmm.
pretty much one person, and I think he uses students. But he
Okay.
has this awesome uh,
Yeah.
Navajo language-based series to help
Oh,
reinforce
cool.
Navajo language for
Mm.
kiddos. But it's
Yeah.
animated series with these dog rock band characters, and they're
Yeah.
language. And he has a great pilot, but I think his frustration is
Hmm.
can't get past that. I've been trying to send him resources, but
Hmm.
hearing your story, I'm like, oh, you're perfect for him to, not give up and keep kind of plugging
Yeah.
away. But there's been issues with specifically finding funding so he can hire and like get
Hmm.
theories out. So he has
Yeah.
all the scripts for,
Okay.
episodes, but he
Hmm.
only has a pilot at this point.
No, no, I mean that's but having a pilot is a lot. We're having the we had a couple of options for the influencer event too, to bring in Ulta or Sephora or something, and we went with Prado's Beauty, which is an indigenous based makeup company from Las Cruces. So we're kind of
Okay.
all over the map in supporting local. It doesn't really matter where they are in New Mexico. My initial
Mhm.
thoughts would be, especially since he has a pilot, I do have a partner for distribution, if he's in that I could help facilitate him pitching it to them. And then alternatively, aside from that, we work with the Media Lab that has its own board, and they have education members and stuff like that on fundraising as well. And then we have some really awesome community members, Dust Wave, Sopapilla Productions, Dark Red. They've all done like these fundraisers as well that I could connect him to, and really just pulling him into the community that has been doing things like that. So
Mhm.
I have some resources and options that I can connect him with. He can just, my email and phone number is all over the website. Both of those go
Okay.
directly to me. So
Oh, so the one that says hello, is that
that's
what?
me.
Okay,
Yep.
I'll just send that to him and say, I met a great person today that may be
Thank
able to
you.
kind of help you forward.
Yeah.
We haven't talked in a while, and I think
Okay.
because he's kind of probably gotten discouraged, but he's been
Mhm.
really trying to
It
look. So
happens.
he's based in Farmington,
Okay.
and he did get an award from the Navajo Nation, but it
Oh,
wasn't.
cool.
Yeah, it was not a whole bunch of funding. It didn't take him to the next step.
Okay.
And he had reached out to me like, where can I go? And I keep talking to people. And
Yeah.
so you seem like the right person. So the influencer event would be good for him to go to just for
Yeah.
networking
Yeah,
capabilities.
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
awesome. And
Definitely.
yeah.
and then
And
I'll quit
also,
monopolizing the conversation, but I noticed on your site you had this Forsyth Dwellers Club, a film networking and showcasing event. Are you
Hmm.
another one of those? That was from last
So
November.
you cut out just a little bit. What was the question part of it?
The question is on your website, I see that you have the Foresight Dwellers Club. It looks like a
Mm-hmm.
networking event. Are you having one of those coming up again? That was back in
So
November.
no, we had kind of a little screening for the film that we did at Rio
Oh,
Bravo
okay.
Brewing next door, and that is the local independent film that is going to be coming out this year that we've been working on
Oh,
pretty much
okay.
since we started that last August, right after our grand opening. But I know that Mary's going to be putting out screenings and stuff like that so that everybody can continue to check it out. We will be holding more networking events, and in the meantime, there's a lot of really great film and music, Monsoon Music House, Edgar Wonder. He puts on a lot of like based events and creative based events. And so we're just trying to bring all of them together and do some more of these. It doesn't really have to be music or film or creative arts. It can be any of the above. We're just trying to facilitate them all in one spot.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, nice to
And
kind of meet
yeah,
you.
yeah, nice to meet. Sorry about my camera. I'm in
No, it's
Gallup and
okay.
we're having wind issues and internet
Yeah,
issues. It's
that's
always,
okay.
yeah, but great. I wish I could come to your influence event and just check that out, how to network, but we have a pretty awesome, I don't know, we have an art council out here. Maybe
Hmm.
something, I'm gonna let her know about it, Rose Eason.
Okay.
So she just
Okay.
started the first virtual museum
Oh,
on
cool.
mm,
oh, the WPA projects that happened
Okay.
during the 30s, and we have a ton of just incredible art here.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
yeah.
so it's this kind of first grand opening of the virtual museum, and then
Hmm.
coupled with the sites around here. So that's happening the same day. But
No, no,
yeah,
that's exciting. Lisi, my business partner, she's a fine artist, and we just filmed our first pilot episode for an art competition show in February, and we filmed it at Explora, and it's called Artists Ignite, and it's a competition show where we have a live performance. The red light cameras performed, and the 9 artists got to watch the performance, and then they had 4 hours to capture the painting, the essence of the performance. So we're going to also be filming the next episode of that and then airing that as well on Amazon Prime and a couple other places later this summer, fall timeframe. So we're big artist supporters as well. But we will be having a live stream on our Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Vault Studios ABQ. And we will be having live artists perform. If anybody that's not able to make the event or in town, they can definitely check it out there too.
Oh, that's great. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna let Rose know. So she's the executive director. Arlen knows her of the Gallup
Okay.
Arts Council here, but she
Yeah.
does an incredible thing. They also got one of those little mini that mini art
Uh-huh.
vending machine out
Oh,
here in
cool.
Gallup, and
Yeah.
there's not that many in the state. I mean, Albuquerque
Yeah.
may have them, but we have
Yeah.
here. But she does great things. So I'll
Okay.
let her know about you if she doesn't already know about you. But thanks so much.
Thank
I'm glad
you.
that
No, I appreciate it.
Monica put a chat in there for me about Edsel Pete, so I'll pass that on to
Cool.
uh, my person up in Farmington. So thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
for your question. I appreciate it.
And Kat, I just wanted to say hi. We waved hello on LinkedIn
Hello.
already.
I
So
know.
no, this is
I know.
really, really helpful and really interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to you. I've been doing a lot of networking just with City of Albuquerque events and
Hmm.
but they're not really specific to the creative industries. And is there like, how did you kind of find these events other than, probably hard labor is probably my best solution. And I'll definitely be at your event next week, but like,
Oh, cool. Thank you.
that would be great if there's like, even if I created, if there's a list somewhere of creative events you can go to that are a little more specific than what the city's doing, which is not bad. It's just not targeted enough to,
Yeah.
what I
Mhm.
do.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I think that we do submit stuff to visit ABQ and they try to keep things going on their calendar. I think that we're working on to have on our website a community calendar for
Nice.
specifically creative events where
Okay.
people can kind of cross department connect. And I
Yeah.
think that that was the whole idea behind this, social impact influencers event is like that, you have to go outside your wheelhouse in order to grow. If you're
Right.
comfortable, more than likely you're not going to grow into different spaces. And so we're working on something, trying to get that up and running. And then I know the way that I did it last year is I knew that I had to network as much as humanly possible. And
Mhm.
so I follow people's socials like crazy. I spent way too much time on social media last year,
Mhm.
but I really make sure that I look at if you go onto Instagram and you look up, hashtag Albuquerque, or you talk to other influencers because they're always going to different networking events and stuff like that, which was kind of a part of the idea behind this is just getting people connected in different ways. And we
Mhm.
have some really great panelists that are going to be speaking next week. Jordy from Bunkhouse Studios and Journey Home Media. We have Sarah Canafany from Luminance Pictures. We have Alan Trevor from CNM. Esther Rose, she's a local influencer. Felix Peralta, he's in the music field. Johnny Badluck, he's another musician. We really, really tried to get Marie Iniguez. She was on the Food Network,
Oh,
and
cool.
so she's a chef. Like we really, really were trying for diversification, versatility, for people to get an understanding of like what is out there. And I think one of the only ways that people get to see that is by following each other or like-minded creatives, and then actually going to the events. It's
Right.
really, there's a lot of work that goes into these events, and you definitely see the land of manana mentality sometimes of like, oh well, I didn't make this one, but I'll hit the next one.
Right.
But we're really trying to do things exclusively at specific events that we won't be doing again. They won't be continuous. It's going to be different at each event,
Right.
and those opportunities really, really need to seize them. And so I think that just kind of getting on socials. I know Facebook is kind of like a hit or miss sometimes, but Instagram and TikTok especially are really supported by creatives because they have that more freedom to post certain things. And then following the creative industries Instagram and the newsletter. Creative Industries is really putting out an awesome newsletter where you can get all of these creative events. It's pretty nice. So it's going to streamline it for a lot of people.
Nice. That's very cool. Okay, cool. Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
look forward to meeting you next week.
You too. Thank you so much, Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I wanted to say earlier, at least for the talking about the animator, animation definitely falls in one of our 6 industries that we support as well as creative industry. So thinking if he was interested in applying for that business development and expansion grant that is still ongoing until the end of the month, or really no, until March 30th. I don't want to say the end of the month. Until March 30th, that'll be a good opportunity to be able to see or at least utilize some funding to possibly hire someone.
Hmm.
All right, and is that it for all the questions? I think we got to everyone. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and end it. Do you have anything else you would like to say, Kat?
No, I feel like I gave people quite a bit to think about. I know that
Yeah.
it's kind of a lot to digest, but we've really, we're trying to make a difference in our little corner of the planet and do it in a positive way. So we're located at I-40 and Second, right behind Rio Bravo Brewing Company. So we're a big gray building. If anybody wants to check us out and hit us up on Instagram, email, really, I'm pretty accessible. All my stuff's out there.
That's right. And then also, if you want to be able to find them on our resource center map, that is going to be at our creative industries website. You'll be able to find some contact information and the address as well.
Hmm.
And make sure you be able to go and support. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for
Thank you guys.
supporting us for this live discussion today, Kat.
Hmm.
And I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I hope
You too.
everybody else do too.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks, Kat. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye-bye.